All right, guys, so in this video, I'm going to be breaking down how I personally would scale to 50K per month as an appointment setter and how I actually did it. I'm going to be breaking down my story with it, what I would do if I was in your situation, the current problems with the industry, and things of that nature so that you can be 100% cognizant and aware of some of these issues so you have the control and you have the power to go in and solve them. So let's get straight to it. First off, I want to talk about like before. So, way before I even started as an appointment setter, I was full-time in college. I saw numerous people online telling me that appointment setting or being a closer was the best way to make money online. It made sense. I signed up, I landed a role, and I kind of sped through that a little bit because I primarily want to focus on the point of like, hey, you're already an appointment setter right now and you're already making a little bit of money, and now it's time to scale. So I was making between 2 to 4K per month as an appointment setter, and I was doing like what I call fairly all right. Nothing crazy, but decent enough money, especially for a broke college kid with no purpose. But it was nothing like the money and the impact that I wanted in this life long term. So I was an appointment setter. I was working my ass off to convert leads into appointments. And while I was still making decent money, I had this underlying feeling that other parts of the business would have needed to improve for me to make more money, right? What do I mean by this? I got to a certain point where I felt like I had maxed out my skill or gotten as close as possible as an appointment setter. So it would be like my skill as an appointment setter would be like an 8 or a 9 or a 10 out of 10 in comparison to what I felt like the other parts of the business were, which would be lower than an 8 out of 10. Which got me a little scared and a little bit nervous because I got a little scared and nervous that I wouldn't be able to exceed that 2 to 4K per month that I was making because I was working my ass off. I was scared that I wouldn't be able to exceed this because I can't just work harder. I was already doing that due to factors that were out of my control. All right. Does that sound familiar at all? Hopefully it does, because that's exactly where I was. Now, midway through, I figured it out. I'll talk about how I did this in a second, but I got to the point where I was making like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 15K per month. And then now I actually run a consulting business and an agency that does right around $50,000 every single month. And it's been doing that for right around a year now. And yeah, pretty fun stuff. And it's doing 50K per month pretty consistently. And now I'm just a guy that loves scuba diving in my free time. And I spend a lot of time cavern diving in cenotes, scuba diving in the Atlantic Ocean, and all that fun stuff, right? So how did I, an appointment setter, making 2 to 4K per month at first, scale to 20K per month and then 50K per month in less than 2 years? Well, it's pretty simple. I took control of my own destiny. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, there's a few issues in the appointment setting space after you land your role, and I personally experienced all of these, okay? So this might really resonate with you. Number one is that a lot of businesses don't get enough lead flow to be able to warrant getting an appointment setter, or the amount of lead flow that a business gets is out of your hands. So even if you wanted to make more money as an appointment setter, in some situations, you can't even do that because you need more leads. You need more people to talk to. You need more conversations flowing. And what I realized about the landscape of the online business space is there's an 80-20 rule with businesses that get lead flow and businesses that don't. The best 20% of businesses get to have 80% of the lead flow, whilst 80% of businesses are sitting there fighting for 20% of the lead flow. So a business needs a sufficient amount of lead flow in order for you to actually be able to go in and make money as an appointment setter. If they don't, well, then you're pretty much having to fight tooth and nail to get people booked on calls, and that's not very fun either. So a business needs an adequate amount of lead flow for you to actually make money inside of the role, and for you to be able to continue to progress the money you make, you need more leads as a byproduct of that, right? The second issue in the appointment setting space is that most businesses don't have good offers, or even if they do, which is rare, you'd be surprised, They're in hyper competitive markets and they don't understand how to differentiate themselves from the competition. Which again presents another opportunity for you, because in a lot of cases, this is out of your control, because you could be the best appointment setter in the world, but if you're the best appointment setter for an offer that is not very good and it's not differentiated and it's hyper competitive, you won't make as much money as you deserve. Okay? And then the third issue, which this second issue actually impacts the third issue, is that most businesses' sales processes aren't dialed in. So this is like a standard sales process. You have a lead that turns into a booked appointment, that turns into an appointment that got nurtured, appointment shows up, and appointment closes. You as an appointment setter only are responsible for this piece, or maybe a little bit of this piece, which creates massive issues. And this is what I personally experienced, is I was an appointment setter for a business, and I would set and I'd work my ass off to set all these appointments, but I knew damn well that the closer that was actually taking those appointments was not as good as they could be or should be. And this created this feeling inside of me and this urgency that it's like, holy shit, even if I'm the best appointment setter in the world, that doesn't mean I'm going to make more money. Because it's like, you could be the best at this right here, but if this isn't dialed in, 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 you could be literally the best appointment setter, maxed out that skill to a 10 out of 10 in the world, and you might still make 2K per month. It's insane. If you're being commissioned, you only get paid if 4 of these other parts, these other 4 parts here, are dialed in. And that, in a lot of cases, as an appointment setter strictly, is out of your control. So you only make good money if all of these are in check and dialed in. On the flip side, well, actually, let me talk about something really quick. Just for businesses in general, businesses follow a simple theory of constraints. The performance of a business is always limited by the weakest link. So you have this is just like a typical system in general. You have inputs going into outputs, and you have multiple things going on inside of a business, right? So there's messaging, there's paid ads, there's content, there's appointment setting, there's sales, there's onboarding, there's client delivery, and there's the mindset of the CEO. The business's income that it makes is always limited by the weakest link in this system. So you could be a 10 out of 10 appointment setter, but if the content is bad, or if the onboarding process is bad, or if the messaging in their ads is bad, and this is like a 2 out of 10, the business will be a 2 out of 10. And if you get paid commission, that means you make 2 out of 10 income in comparison to your 10 out of 10 skill set. So, as you can see by now, this can create massive issues for the money that you can take home as an appointment setter. And this, for me, once I realized this, it pissed me off. It really did. The money that you make is 80% out of your control because of the other factors inside of a business. Meaning, you could be the best in the world as an appointment setter and you could still not make good money. And on the flip side, you could be a mediocre appointment setter. Let's go back to this theory of constraints. Let's say they had their messaging being a 10 out of 10. They had their paid ads being a 10 out of 10, content 10 out of 10, and you could be like a 5 out of 10 appointment setter, and the rest of the business is a 10 out of 10. Since that's the case, you'll actually be paid good money because the business overall is really good. Like if you come and work for my company as an appointment setter, you will make at the very least 3 to 5K per month every single month. Whereas if you be an appointment setter for other companies, you might only make 1 to 2K per month with the same exact skill set. Okay? Again, about 3 months into my journey personally as an appointment setter, again, I was in college. I was doing appointment setting on the side to make a little bit of money here and there. About 3 months into that process for me, I had this realization. And again, it pissed me off. So I started to find a solution. Let's talk about it. I don't know why I said two. There's actually 3 solutions. One of them is right out of the gate, you go and find one of these businesses that has the rest of their business dialed in. They have all of this stuff dialed in. The second solution is you can get incredibly lucky that the business that you work in is able to figure this all out as you progress inside of their company. So you could start off as an appointment setter, and as things start to scale, things start to click on the other parts of the business, and as a byproduct of that, you continue to make more money. And the third solution is to start off as a setter for a quote unquote bad business or a business that isn't fully dialed in yet. And you're going to help them sharpen and dial in the other parts of their business. I say bad in quotations, but let's just say not a 10 out of 10 business, an unoptimized business that could be or should be making more money. Although option 1 seems like a logical choice, it's very hard to find a business like this. So the first choice is obviously the best. You, right out of the gate, as an appointment setter, just go and find a business that has the rest of this stuff dialed in. One of the very rare businesses that meet all of the criteria that I said earlier. They have great lead flow. They have a great offer. They're differentiated well in the marketplace. They have an incredible sales process. They have an incredible entrepreneur that has a great vision. The best solution is to find that. I'm not going to lie to you. The problem, although number 1 seems like the logical choice, it's very hard to find a business like this. And even if you do, there's a lower probability that you will get hired as an appointment setter because there are more people competing for this role. These businesses, since they are such good offers and they have a lot of their stuff dialed in, they actually have an abundance of people reaching out to them already as an appointment setter, which means instead of like a bad offer might only have like 10 people reaching out to be an appointment setter, a really good offer might have like 50 to 100. Now you're competing against all those people to get landed. Number 2 is obviously trash because you have to get lucky and everything's out of your control. If you want to live life, which I know a lot of people do, so you wouldn't be too uncommon, but if you want to live life where everything happens to you, you don't happen to the world, good luck with that. You'll stay in that mindset forever and you will never make money, or you'll never make the money that you see people talking about online. The third option is to control your own destiny, because option 3 presents you with a unique opportunity to start planting seeds to be able to start your own business. Hopefully you're kind of getting to the point where you kind of see where I'm going at with this. So number 3 is to start off just as a setter, and then you help the business that you're working in dial in the other parts of their business. As an appointment setter, your skills are limited. It is a great business model to begin with as a beginner with no experience. This is what people market to you online. They say, oh, being an appointment setter, being a closer is a great business model to do. If you're a complete beginner, you can make 5 to 10K per month working remote, blah, 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 blah. But the intention is as you're growing in the role, you continue to build your skill set. You don't learn appointment setting and then you stop. No, you learn other things and you continue building your skill set and becoming more valuable to the marketplace. Imagine if you became so valuable to the marketplace that you were able to offer your time and skills as a setter first, and then you could assist the entrepreneur that you're working with in sharpening the other parts of the business, right? So I did this diagram. The pink stuff is going to be like you coaching, you consulting with the entrepreneur on this piece of it. The green is done for you. So you still go in as an appointment setter and you do the work, but then you also assist them in the other parts of their business and more than what I just have shared on this, on the chain here. This would allow you to control your own destiny, make more money for the business by improving the other parts of the business which in turn puts more money into your pocket as an appointment setter. I call this advanced version of an appointment setter being and becoming a scaling operator, which is exactly what I did 3 months ago, or not 3 months ago, 3 months into my journey as an appointment setter. If you guys remember, at the beginning, I was like making 2 to 4K per month. This was like month 2, month 3. And then this kind of realization hit me and I'm like, oh shit, I got to do something about this. I got to take destiny into my own hands. So this is exactly what I did 3 months into my journey as an appointment setter, which allowed me to actually scale my role as an appointment setter or as a scaling operator to take home over $15,000 in one single month, still as a scaling operator. So I went from making 2 to 4K per month, being scared because I didn't want to have to work harder to make more money because I already was working my ass off, to a few months later down the line, I think it was like 6 or 7 months down the line, maybe like 4, I hit 15K per month still doing this. Now this is great. And I'll explain this even further in a second of how it looks in my story. But there's another level to this, because as you're helping the business that you're working in grow, again, by installing and helping them develop other parts of the business, you actually have an opportunity to ask the business owner you're working for a case study, right? So imagine this. You go in as an appointment setter, you're getting paid 10% of every new sale that they generate inside of the business. You set leads for them and the business makes like 20, 30K per month. You get paid 10%. You make 2 to 3K per month. Imagine if you help the business as a whole, as an entity grow. They grow to like 100K, 150K per month. You not only continue getting your 10% and still make money, then you also have the opportunity to ask the business owner for a case study of how you helped that client scale from 20 to 30K per month to 100 to 150K per month. This case study then will be the core foundation you can actually use to build your own business, because you can very easily leverage this case study to scale yourself out of your position. I'll explain what this looks like in a second, and to go rinse and repeat the cycle for other businesses and run a high ticket 5K plus per month or 5K plus upfront or more and performance based. Let me break this down. So you get a case study. Let's just say right now you're an appointment setter, you're making $1 to $2 grand online. You're getting paid 5 to 10%. And you can imagine what the business is making as a byproduct of your help. Imagine if you go in and you assist the business in other parts of their business and you help the business grow in totality, which means you will make more money, but then you can also take the transformation that the business went through, ask the CEO for like a video testimonial, create a case study, and then be able to use that to scale yourself out of your position. What does that mean? Well, it's simple. First off, you're at the point now where you're consulting, and you're still doing this for them. You can very easily, after you've built up all this good reciprocity with the CEO by doing amazing work for them, you can go out and find just a beginner appointment setter to place in position for yourself. And then instead of getting paid, your 5 to 10% or whatever, then you can now get paid based off of your consulting and your assistance in the other parts of their business. Okay. Now you can take that same transformation and that same case study to go out and rinse and repeat the cycle for other businesses and run a 10K, 5K offer up front plus percentage as they grow. Okay. Again, you can rinse and repeat the process for multiple clients on a monthly basis to build your own agency using the fundamental skill sets that you decided to build as a scaling operator. Hopefully you guys understand where what I'm kind of breaking down here, because this could just change your life if you're an appointment setter right now making like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5K per month, somewhere in there. Because this is exactly what I did. I took my appointment setting / scaling operator. Again, scaling operator is just an advanced appointment setter. I took that position. I mastered skills like sales, offer positioning, lead nurture, much more. How to get leads to show up on phone calls, how to get leads nurtured prior to the call so that they're sold, how you can differentiate yourself from the competition. I learned all these skills and I applied them. I started off first as an appointment setter. Then I started applying these skills to help the business grow overall so that I could maximize the money I was making in my position. And I did that for about 4 months. So I started off just as an appointment setter, was making like 2 to 4K per month, about 3 months into my job. Then I actually applied some of this stuff and I scaled my income to 15 grand per month in 4 months. Insane. Then at 15K per month, I actually decided to step down and start my own agency using this process that I shared with you earlier of scaling yourself out of your position and repeating the process for other clients. Because at this point, you can work with 5, 10 clients and it not be an issue. Started my own agency, scaled that to 50K per month in 4 months. It was like, I still had a specialty in appointment setting, but it was also a short form content agency at the time. If you've seen some of my other videos, you would see that we were actually running a short form content agency in 2023, early 2023, and it scaled to 50K per month in about 4 months of me starting my own agency. So it's like, also, if you're maybe watching this video right now and you're running an agency making less than 10 grand a month, it might be wise of you to develop some of these skill sets first. Take a step back, develop some of these skills first, then be able to start your own agency later on. Because I went from 0 to 50K per month in 4 months. And I've been maintaining that or going slightly higher than that ever since. So I took the same skills that I had been developing as an appointment setter and as a scaling operator, and I started offering them as a service, and I was using them operationally also while running my own business. So I was offering these skills as a service, but I also was using these skills that I had been developing prior to run my own business. And this is why I saw explosive growth, because I was building these skills the whole time while being a scaling operator of how to run a business. And then it's like, I just took off when I started my own agency. So this personally is how I would scale to 50K per month as an appointment setter, because it's kind of hard to scale your income as an appointment setter. There's a lot of variables that are out of your control, as I broke down in this video. And for me, I was making 2 to 4K per month, which was decent. It was enough to pay the bills, but it was nothing like I wanted out of this world and out of this life. And I was also really, really scared and really, really nervous because I was working, I was doing like full-time college, and I was working like 40 to 60 hours a week to make 2 to 4K per month. I was like, okay, I mean, this isn't bad, but it's like, how can I didn't even know how I could possibly exceed this income, because it's not like I was just going to double my work ethic and make more money. No, you can't go from working 40 to 60 hours a week, making 2 to 4K per month, and just be like, oh, if I want to make 4 to 8K per month, let me just double my hours. No, you can't do that. Or you can, but it won't be sustainable. And you'll be sleeping 4 hours a night, which isn't ideal, right? So having this realization for me, and then I applied it as well, completely changed my life. And I'm incredibly grateful for it. I was able to scale my appointment setting position to become a scaling operator, make 15 grand per month. Then I used those same exact skill sets to actually run my own agency, which I still run to this day. It's more of an advertising agency now. We have a specialty in advertising, but everything else inside of a business is still applied to this day. My appointment setting skills that I learned 3 years ago, I'm still teaching to clients. I'm still helping them with it, and I'm still placing setters and all that fun stuff. So if you actually realize this and you're like, yeah, Trevor, like the way that I make more money is by becoming a more skilled individual and more valuable to the marketplace, that's really awesome. If you're not thinking that way, I'd challenge you on that, because anything that's really easy to build is easy to destroy. But if you actually take the time to develop other skills outside of just appointment setting so that you can help a business grow in general, that's irreplaceable. That'll last you for a lifetime. Appointment setting is one skill, and it can become commoditized really easily because it's actually not that hard to learn if we're being 100% honest with ourselves. People use this angle all the time that, hey, appointment setting is the best way to make money online as a beginner. But eventually you get to a point with appointment setting where you should probably stop being a beginner and you should start to level up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a subscribe. If not, let me know why, and take care and have a fantastic rest of your day.